Podcasting from the Fort Greene section of Brooklyn, New York. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey, good morning, everybody. As usual, it's the morning when I'm recording these productions and podcasts. But whenever you choose to listen to this or look at this, the morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, I really appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, and of course, I appreciate the support by hitting the subscribe notification bell on the YouTube channel. But do that if you want to, no pressure, even though the subscription would help the algorithms in my favor. I want to talk about cake today. It was on my mind for a while. And I'm going to go somewhere definitely with this. But, you know, when you have cake, everyone likes cake. Most people I know enjoy cake, whether it be red velvet, pineapple upside down cake, plain old pound cake, chocolate cake, whatever the case is. But let's go into the process of making that cake that everyone enjoys so much. So before we do anything, we have to make sure that you have an oven that works. And then you have to make sure that that oven is preheated. Probably around 400, 350 degrees, probably around that temperature. You make sure you set it so when it's time to put that batter in the oven, it's ready to go. So now we're gonna go to the batter. Very important. You may want to do the premix. You may also want to do it from, scratch, from homemade, straight flour. Flour, enriched flour, unbleached flour. You may want to add some coconut flour or almond flour, whatever it is, what kind of cake you're making. The flour is the base. Then you want to add your milk. For people who don't like the animal products, you have the alternatives of coconut milk, almond milk, and you throw your eggs in there. Again, if you don't want the dairy or the animal products, you could always use egg replacer. There's tons of them out there. You put those together. Milk, eggs, flour. You want to add maybe some spices to it if you want to, depending on what you're making. You may want to add some flavoring, vanilla essence, lemon essence, rum essence, whatever it is. I'm just doing the basics right here. So you get your batter, you make sure you mix it really well to the point where you know that the consistency is going to come out proper when it's baking. You have everything that you wanted added in there. You get the batter properly. Then what you do, you get the pan ready. A lot of people that I know, they prepare the pan. They grease the pan. Put probably butter in it. Oh yeah, that's right, butter. You can probably put butter or oil in the cake too. Almost forgot that. You go back to the pan now. You butter the pan, flour it up. Some people may use wax paper. It all depends on how you like cooking, or what you're cooking, what you're baking. You do all the preparation. You pour the cake into the pan. Now, the oven is prepped. Now you're gonna go put the cake in the preheated oven. You bake it for 20 minutes, 35 minutes, an hour. Again, depends on what cake it is. But all you know is that when you take that cake out of the oven and it is nice and warm and hot, how many people do you know are actually gonna go say, what the hell? How did I get this cake? What is this cake doing in this oven? Why is the oven on? I didn't wanna have any cake. Now think of how mind-bending that is. You heard me correct. You went through all that trouble to make the cake, get the flour, get the batter, everything. Get the oven ready, get the pan ready. You put the cake in the oven and bake it for the allotted time. And then when you open up the oven door, you're surprised that you have a cake. How many people actually are gonna do that? Now, this is where I'm going with this. Why is it that people act so surprised when they become pregnant, when they're about to have a baby? It doesn't make any sense. You're doing the one thing that is required for you to have children, having sex. And then when you have sex, you got prophylactics, you can have all types of birth control options, pills, both of you guys using protection. But again, you're doing the one thing that is required to have a baby. So why is it that you're surprised when the woman becomes pregnant? Either the woman says, I can't believe this happened. The guy, I don't believe this happened, or can you do this to me? But you guys mix your ingredients together and did a lot of baking together to do the one thing to have a child, and then now you're surprised. This is the lack of responsibility and accountability, where we all want to just do what we want to do and not accept the expected consequences or reaction to it. We have to be responsible. There's a whole lot of things that we're not accountable for. There's a whole lot of things that we want to act surprised when it's time to get the consequences and or repercussions for our actions. That's all I want to leave you with today. If you want to check out more of my content, you can check out my website at www.brooklynbaritone.com. You can also catch more of my content on my YouTube page, Brooklyn Baritone. You can also catch me on my profile on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook. You can get the audio version of these podcasts on Google Podcast, Apple iTunes Podcast, and Amazon Music under Podcasts. You could also catch me on local Brooklyn cable television, broadcasting 4 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. I air on RCN, Spectrum, Verizon, and Optimum. Thank you guys for listening. You'll hear from me next week. Be blessed, walk good. I'm out.